What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey F'n Pipes. Let me tell you something. God works in mysterious ways. Today started slow. Then I fired someone. Then I show up to a service call, and guess what? Another HVAC company is already in the driveway. But that's just the beginning. Buckle up. This one gets deep. Let's go! I gotta tell you a story. So pull up your pants, tie your shoelaces, and let's fucking go! It's Thursday, December 11th, I believe, 2025, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Heading home, but I have a training class that I'm hosting. I'm the instructor today at 5:30. Unseasonably a little quiet. Service calls coming in. And earlier today, I terminated my relationship with one of our team members. So it sucks, but sometimes you got to make changes and decisions that you don't really want to make, but it's for the greater good. Anyway, that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to tell you a quick little story. Second service call of the day. North Valley Stream, aka South Elmont. Service call is dispatched as Argo electric boiler not heating properly. All right, we got a model number, and I see that it's indeed a 40,000 BTU electric boiler. I'm like, wow, you could buy it on supplyhouse.com for a few $1,000. Yep, so they got an Argo 40,000 BTU electric boiler. And based on the appearance of the house, I'm going to say probably a 2,500 square foot home. Unless there's some other source of heating, you know someone's fucked. So we pull up to the house about a half hour earlier than scheduled. Scheduled between 10 and 12, and we pull up at around 9:35. And we pull up to the house. There is another HVAC contractor company vehicle parked directly in front of this home that we're dispatched to. And, okay, it could be for the neighbor, right? But when it's partially blocking a driveway, it's a case of they double booked. And it doesn't happen that frequently. I don't experience it that much, but it does happen. And the last time it happened, I was already the first one there, and needless to say, I walked off the job because I wasn't down for that nonsense, right? And the other contractor left too. So I pulled in front of this house, and I call up the contact number on my CRM House Call Pro. And the woman answers the phone. I was like, "Hi, Mike from Pipe Doctor." I was like, "We've arrived earlier. Is that okay?" It's like, "Yeah, he's inside." Assuming she's talking about her husband, right? I said, "Okay, so I should go knock on the door." He's like, "Yeah, okay." I was like, "Okay, no problem, cool." Oh, well, we just pulled up, so I just want to give you a call, a courtesy, because I am early, and whatever. So I go to the front door with Derek, and we knock on the door. Here's some video of that. Make sure you finesse that carpet with skill, and you don't think the door's gonna close. Don't roll it out there. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Argo electric boiler.
AT1226106.
I don't know. See, if we didn't call, we would think there's no one home.
Yeah.
But we did call, and she said, "Okay, come on in."
We just called you.
Yeah. Ma'am, there's another contractor, and the guy is working in your garage, closing the garage. No.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because you just called me a few minutes ago.
Yes, yeah, I did, because we arrived early.
When you called me, I thought that you were the guy who was already. I thought you were calling to confirm him being at the house.
Oh no.
That's where my confusion came in.
Yeah.
So I'll be there in now probably like 7 or 8 minutes.
Okay. No
All right,
problem.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right. There's obviously some kind of communication failure here, right? Nonetheless, she calls me. I call her back. I don't know, I hear the phone ring, whatever. I call her back, and I said, this... Because, Mike, you're supposed to be here. I don't know who this other person is. I thought he was you. I'm like, okay. I was like, I'll be there in 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, ma'am, it's clearly there's a clear case of someone double booking with two different, contractor A and contractor B. And contractor A beat contractor B here to the job, and they're here already. And the guy just came out of your garage with a bucket and a hose. Looks like he's doing whatever he's doing. And all respect, I'm not going to talk bad about anyone else, but he's there and he got here first. Whatever, it's all good. It's like, no, you're supposed to be there. Please wait for me. Okay. Derek and I go back into the truck. And we started up. I'm like, might as well stay warm. And I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt because it's a light day and it's not even 10 o'clock yet. And I have one other service call that I could do anytime today I want. But it is what it is. And about a few minutes later, you see this white, Lexus pull up, speeding down the block. And it's her. And she gets out of the car. She sees me and she walks over to the car. I roll down the window and she goes, Mike, thank you so much for waiting. I was like, I'm going to go figure out what's going on here because you're supposed to be here. And I'm like, okay, figure it out. About 5 minutes later, here comes this poor guy from this other company, with his tail between his legs and doesn't even not look at me. He's like, his head is down. I'm like, I feel bad. It's not his fault, right? Someone obviously, booked them and booked us. But God works in mysterious ways. And let me tell you why. He really does. And I'm going to tell you right now how that's even more incredible. We go into the garage. Contractor A departs. I don't even ask what happened there, but she shows me the boiler. And this is what it looks like. And I said, okay, let's have a conversation. I'm quite familiar with what you have, and I see how it's installed. And let's have a conversation. If you want to sit down, we'll talk, but I'll stand, And I gave her the news, right? That this 40,000 BTU electric heater, which is costing her thousands of dollars a month to operate because it's electric, is slowly bankrupting her, and the house on colder days is in the low 60s because it's not enough BTUs to heat the home. So not only is she spending thousands of dollars a month to heat her home with electric, which is 100% efficient, but it's still expensive, this is never going to work. So there's a couple things we could do. I said, number one, you call National Grid, the gas utility, and you cry until you get them to say someone's coming next week. Number two, you spend, thousands upon thousands of dollars and put in an oil-fired boiler connected to your existing oil tank that was never removed yet, and you go that route. Or number three, you think outside the box. And I said, I'm looking around and I see you have air conditioning vents on the first floor. I was like, how many air conditioning systems do you have? She goes, one. I was like, so there's one cooling thermos. She goes, yes. And I said, so when you turn on the heat on the second floor, it comes out of the first floor too? We go, yes. So it's kind of not very efficient. the heat this, because she has a one-zone central heating system, but there's a fan coil for the set zone 2 off the boiler that feeds the fan coil, which gives you hot air out of the vents on the second floor and the first floor at the same time. So it's kind of very, and there's convectors on the first floor, hydronic convectors. So it's not really an efficient method of heating. And I was like, and the house was built in 2005, renovated completely. The first floor was only slightly modified. And I said, let's take a look outside. And 3.5 ton Gibson, it's a Nordine, R22 system. We go up to the attic, and there's it's a pleasant experience. Walkable. It's like a 3rd floor. It's beautiful. And she goes, Mike, I can't afford this. Like, I can't even afford this electric bill, which is now thousands and thousands of dollars a month. Like, this is, and she's in tears. And I just let her, like, have her moment. The woman is in tears, and I let her have her moment. And I said, just hear me out for a second. I don't want to pry into your personal affairs. I know that your husband said doesn't live here anymore. But you seem like an intelligent woman, educated, and please don't take this the wrong way, but I'm not counting what you have, what your financial resources are, but there isn't really much that I can do for you other than the third option, which we can do right away, or option 1, if you get natural gas line to your home, then we can, file the permits and get a boiler and, go from there. But there's no easy solution here. The oil boiler is going to cost you probably, I don't know, $6, $7, $8, $10,000 to supply and install with an oil company. Oil to gas conversion, which is not even gas, it's not even oil anymore, it's electric, but that's a whole big to do, and it's going to be more than that. Or like you have this A.O. Smith heat pump water heater that's brand new. Your garage is ice cold, right? But it's probably nice in the summertime. I was like, so how about if I presented this option with an electric heat pump with emergency heat strips? We'll have to have an electrician come in and do all that legwork with that. And I was like, but you'll get a brand new ultra-efficient central cooling system with built-in heating as well. And this boiler is abandoned. I can't afford it. I was like, well, a job like this, forget about the affordability for a section. Let's say you can write me a check and you have infinite money. A job like that, maybe high teens, 20s, low 20s in thousands of dollars. Because you got to factor in a 50 or 60 amp line, 200 feet from the electric panel, up across there, the equipment, the installation, ductwork modification, low voltage communicating wire, drain pan, all the full works. Come on, guys. It's not cheap. It's like, but I don't have it. I was like, so let me tell you a little story. God works in mysterious ways. Last night, I'm at this wedding in Brooklyn. Almost like a Hasidish wedding, but not that many. Well, there was a lot of black hats, but it wasn't that kind of wedding. It was like a very Orthodox wedding, Jewish Orthodox wedding. And the chutzpah, the nerve of these money collectors, they're looking for tzedakah or donations. Right around the time of the tish. Those who know, but it's the beginning part of the wedding during the appetizer hour, the shmorg. There's a tish. And that's where the good men food is and men alcohol is, but not so much this wedding, but it's a complicated story. This money collector comes around, he's got his hand full of cash, like this, going around. And this guy didn't have a credit card machine. So the other guy did, right? And I know he's going to come around. And he's coming around looking for tzedakah or donation. And I'm a big believer in giving someone what they need that you have and you could easily afford to give it to them. So I open up my money, I take out my little money clip, and the first bill there is a 5, and then there's a 10, there's a 20, and I was like, I give him a $100 bill. I'm like, it's not going to hurt me giving it to him. And you know what? If it is what it is. And then another guy came, and I gave him the 20. And I gave the bartender a 10. And I went home with 5. right? But nonetheless, God works in mysterious ways. And I said, I've been doing this for quite a while. I happen to be the owner of the company. And actually, the wife is the owner. I'm just like the worker. I was like, but my team and I, we take very great amount of pride in the work that we do, where we document a lot of the projects and we post it on our social media channels. And it's like, oh, you're Mikey. Like I knew you looked familiar. You pop up in my feed every so often. I was like, yeah, TikTok. I use AI and whatever. I was like, so it just so happens that I also have a nonprofit organization where we provide, and like just saying verbatim, free or low-cost plumbing, heating, cooling services to those in the community who can't afford to hire a professional. And we actually operate nationwide. And we're an IRS, nonprofit, 501c3, all legit, 100%. And I don't take anything from the organization, the company, or anything from the organization. And I pay, others too, and for equipment if I can't get it donated and get it done. But again, I'm not counting what you have in your pocket, but if I can give you this job for, I don't know, X amount of dollars, maybe more, 50% or greater off, do you think that's manageable? She goes, I don't really know. I'm like, let me start by getting the equipment. So I reach out to Penny at ACIQ. And I text her. I was like, can I call you? And she goes, no, I'm in an Amazon meeting, but can you? I was like, let me tell you. I take a picture of the boiler on the wall. And I was like, can ACIQ donate a 4-ton system to replace this abortion? And before I even sent her the picture, yes. So I'm like, ma'am, I think we have our solution. And I've never really done a low-cost philanthropy job, but if you have the means for it, it'll be heavily subsidized, and we'll figure it out. It's like, but can we work on that? She goes, yes. I was like, here we go. But we have to, I have accountants and there's a board for this nonprofit. So I'm going to send you a grant application. It's just 2 pages long. Fill it out honestly. And as long as the house isn't in foreclosure or going to be sold in the courthouse steps, like tomorrow, and as long as you're the owner, I don't care about your financial situation. If you honestly cannot afford, you don't have the means to pay the full retail price of this job, what needs to get done here, we will help you out. And I'm a firm believer in that. And she goes, Mike, I will figure it out, but I have some money, a little bit, it's got to last. But I was thinking about paying the $8,000 I owe to the electric company. I was like, don't worry about that. Let's get your family some efficient heat. And that's what I mean by God's work in mysterious ways. So last night I gave a cumulative away of about $120. And even if I collect, let's say $3,000 or $5,000 from her, that's a job that I didn't have before I gave $120 in donations to someone who was asking for it. So the moral of the story, and I'm sorry for dragging this out, but if you have $1 in your pocket, when's the last time you gave to charity? Or to someone who needs something, right? If someone needs a pencil and you have 20 pencils, just talking figuratively, give them a pencil. Because if you give it with no expectation of getting anything in return, you will be blessed. Thanks for watching. And if you're tired of working for a mediocre company and you live in the Long Island, New York City metropolitan area, we're based in Woodmere, New York. We primarily do residential service and repair. And maybe this is a sign where I should just probably stick with HVAC and forget about plumbing. But if you're a plumbing and heating tech and you are comfortable working with drain cleaning equipment, water heaters, supplying, installing them, repairing them, and the eagerness to learn, we should have a conversation. Email me, Mike at MikeyPipes.com. Catch you later. Be well. God bless. Stay safe.